And welcome everybody to another episode of the coaching carousel that we got going on here in right before the World Cup is happening. Thank you guys again for being here. Thank you guys for listening. Once again, I have my partner in crime, Matt. Matt, how are you today?
I'm doing just great.
You're doing fantastic. He's always doing fantastic. I love that. Love that about him. Today, we're going to be talking about the brand new coach at Aston Villa. Umra Emery? Is that it? Unai Emery. A well-known coach in the football world. So it's not going to be like it was with Southampton, picking a babyface guy. We're going to be picking a guy who's actually had pretty good success in the world, not only in the Premier League but in other leagues, and has done really well in many of the big leagues. He's coached at PSG, Sevilla, Valencia, his Arsenal. His last team he played for was Villarreal. But now he's coming up to Aston Villa. One big thing that I do have to say with him is right after his signing, he had a huge 3-1 win against Manchester United. Watch our reaction video to that, guys. You guys will see how I'm feeling about that game. But he's a winner where he goes. And there's only been a couple seasons where he's actually been under 40%, and even then it's at a high 40% on where he's been. So we're going to talk a little bit about what our feelings are on the signing of having that coach and what we feel about it, and what we rank the coaching for this. Matt, what do you feel about the coaching of Aston Villa picking him up?
I think it's a bit aspirational. Like, I think they're definitely wanting to be better than they are. There's a lot of hope, I'm guessing, in him bringing them to a higher level. Because this is a high-level manager. He's managed teams in the Champions League. He's managed teams in Paris, in Spain, in Arsenal, right? So he's a very well thought of manager in the world. And it's interesting because Aston Villa doesn't play in any European competitions, so all of that energy is going to be able to go to the domestic league for now. On the cups. But I think it's potentially good as long as he can make the signings that he wants. The team's going to have to invest, I think, in the winter window and next summer. I think similarly to Newcastle, once they got their guy, he started making, a signing here, a signing there. But I think the way that Emery has gone in the past is he's made bigger splashes, and he's got his guys that he likes, and I think he's going to go try and get at least one or two of them in January. But I think if he can get the team coached into the system that he likes, and if he can get the players in that he wants, this could establish Villa as a top half team.
Right.
I don't know if they're a top 6 team yet, but I think what they want to be is that. So this is the first step on that journey. If it works out, it's hard to say, but it's auspicious.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm feeling that this will be exactly like you say. He's gonna want to sign his big players. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Aston Villa in last year's winter season got a new owner who wants to put a lot of money into the team. They got a brand new owner. They had a good team, but they wanted to put a lot of money into it. I don't think they believed in the coaching they had. They wanted to get a good coach before they did it. They paid Aston Villa paid £6 million as a buyout, just to buy him out, not even to give it. £6 million Villarreal, and they wanted to do it. One big thing that I was talking with Matt about when we were talking about this was there's a quote that comes from the BBC News on November 3rd, 2021, where Emery was approached to sign with the vacant spot at Newcastle right before Eddie Howe signed with them. He turned down the interest, and he says, and I quote, that he was 100% committed at the time, at least 100% committed to Villarreal, and that Newcastle had a lack of clear vision at that time. Now, this being said, Newcastle was in last place in the division, even lower than Norwich at the time. But just think that. Just think. And I think what's going to happen is Emery is going to bring in, because he knows he can buy players, but Emery is going to try to buy players to come to Aston Villa as if he was Arsenal, as if it was like a Champions League team, or a team that's going to go to Europe at all. And I think it's going to backfire on him a lot. He's going to have, oh, I want this guy, oh, I want this guy, I want this guy. And there's going to be some butting heads, I think. I think they'll try to sign within the first 2 years. They're going to try. Do I like the signing? Yes, it's a big name coming in. I think it'll bring in some players. I think it'll bring some good teams. But I think they're going to get rid of all their young players, because I think they're going to start getting rid of some of the young players. Maybe go to Southampton. I don't know. But I think this signing, I almost give it meh. I want to give it time. I don't believe this was a proper signing. I think this was an incorrect signing for him. I think the owners had a little cash and was like, we need to bring a big name player or a big name coach to come in. But you got to think that, I mean, I've seen it as a Newcastle fan, where you bring a big time coach in and you're like excited, and the coach can get them about mid-table, and that's it.
Like
and
Rafa
keep them
Benitez?
in. What's that?
Like Rafa Benitez?
Yes, don't talk about that guy, okay? I know all Newcastle fans still do, but yeah, that's just how I feel. I just think this signing was a show of money. I think they're gonna put butts in seats, but it's not going to be something that's going to be good for them in the long run. I think it will actually hurt them and their progression. Matt, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your level of signing? What is the number?
So you've kind of swayed me a bit there.
No, don't sway. You have a lot. Come on.
What I was kind of alluding to earlier was that there's a lot of ambition in this signing for them to be a lot bigger because they have a big manager, but I think you are right in the sense that they've skipped steps.
Yep.
I think they haven't done the foundation work yet, and they want to jump up to the top, and I think it's going to backfire.
Yeah.
They're going to get a short-term boost, I think, but it's going to be tough to maintain and to carry on year over year. So I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping not to sway you at all, because I wanted to make sure, but no, like I said, I've seen this, and I think a lot of people were thinking Newcastle was going to do this, bring in a good big name. Then when they got Eddie Howe, it was almost like a surprise. Like it was like, why were you bringing Eddie Howe? I actually was positive when Eddie Howe came in. The only reason I was positive about Eddie Howe was because, I mean, we just had Bruce, and he was just terrible. I try to like Bruce, but he was terrible. And having the fresh face of Eddie Howe come in, and then Eddie Howe didn't. This is why I think it was smart. Eddie Howe is basically a ton of money, and what he did was he didn't just go, I want big team players. We're gonna do exactly the same thing as Man City did, bring in some big players, whatever. No, he actually made some really smart signings. He made signings where he took players from other teams that were actually below him, and he just says, I just need one player. I just need 2 players. That's it. I just need some small players just to stay up. Then next season we'll do better. And they did a lot better even from that point. And I think that's exactly what they should have done here, was bring in a young coach, or a coach who is established, who can keep them up and coming, and then look for the big team, the big guy. You know, it's not like Emery was going to go anywhere from Villarreal. I mean, he was doing fantastic, and he just gave $6 million up. That $6 million could be possibly 1-2 signings that you guys gave up for him. So I'm giving this one a ranking of, I'll give it, you know what, I'll give it a 4. I know I was teetering a 4 or a 5. I wasn't gonna go higher than 5. I'll give it a 4. only reason I will say this is it's like putting a square into a round hole. It's not going to work that well until you keep bashing your head enough times. If it does work, you know what's going to happen is you're going to break the entire team first, though. The team is going to go broke, or it's going to be close to broke. They're going to get rid of their structure, everything in the team. Do I think they'll win games? Yes. But I don't think the team has the players right now that could play Emery style to get there yet. That's just my feeling.
Okay.
Thank you again, Matt, for your help on this video. Really do appreciate that. Once again, Matt gave it a 6.5. I gave it a 4. Let us know in the comments down below what you feel the ranking on this team is. Thank you again, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.